A deputy killer has been captured. A warning from firefighters about candles and elusive car thieves needing to be captured.
And that and more on your APSU-TV news. Welcome back to another episode of your APSU TV News. I'm Aaliyah Cumberbatch.
And I'm Breanna Franklin. Kansas City police are revealing more Thursday on what may have sparked a deadly mass shooting at a Super Bowl victory celebration. They say right now there are more than 20 victims who were injured and at least one person has died. Authorities say 2 juveniles remain in custody for further investigation. Michael Yoshida is in Kansas City at the scene where an estimated 1 million fans were celebrating Wednesday just before the shooting erupted.
This appeared to be a dispute between several people that ended in gunfire.
Kansas City police giving an update on Wednesday's mass shooting during a Super Bowl victory rally for the Chiefs. Many of nearly 24 gunshot victims are children.
At least half of our victims are under the age of 16.
Killed in the gunfire was a popular local DJ, 43-year-old Lisa Lopez Galvin. Dozens gathering Thursday night for a vigil to mourn her loss and stand together in the wake of this tragedy.
It's going to take a long time for a lot of us to understand and heal from this. It's just a tragedy.
People coming together to light candles and say a prayer.
Hold on to hope, lean on one another, and know that a brighter tomorrow awaits.
As friends remember Lopez Galvin, some recall their own terrifying moments running from the gunfire.
All of a sudden, through the partitions, a wave of people come rushing through, screaming, "Gun, run, police are coming."
In the chaos that followed, at least one armed suspect was tackled by those in the crowd.
When I hit him from behind, I either jarred the gun out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because as I'm taking him down to the ground, I see the gun on the ground.
I want to thank the people who acted bravely yesterday alongside law enforcement.
Police confirmed they're looking at a number of suspects and multiple weapons were recovered at the scene.
The Blount County Sheriff's Office captured a man wanted of killing one of their deputies and injuring another during a traffic stop. Sheriff James Lee Birong announced Tuesday on Facebook that 42-year-old Kenneth Wayne D. Hart was arrested in Knoxville. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says D. Hart was charged with first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and being a felon in possession of a firearm. Deputies had stopped him due to concerns of erratic driving, and D. Hart had refused to get out of the SUV. A stun gun was used with little to no effect. The driver shot at both deputies before later arriving off.
An important reminder to be careful with candles. Clarksville Fire Rescue tells Clarksville Now a house fire on Courtney Drive on Wednesday was caused by a candle. Crews arrived at around 6 in the morning to find heavy smoke. Firefighters were able to contain the fire to its room of origin and limit damage to the surrounding rooms. However, smoke damage has affected the entire interior. The 2 people living in the home got out safely.
Clarksville police need your help finding a group of car thieves caught on camera in a striking of car break-ins. When WSMP Nashville spoke with officers last week, 4 individuals broke into cars near Hunt to Co Drive. Police say they are looking for people seen on the video using a dark-colored Infiniti QX50 to move around the lot. Anyone with additional information or footage is asked to give police a call.
Clarksville police still have a lot of questions after a deadly crash on Memorial Drive. Officers tell WKRN News 2 that a 70-year-old woman died from her injuries after the multi-vehicle car wreck last Thursday afternoon. Radicarn Storn and 2 other drivers were involved. Stone, along with the other drivers, were taken to Tennova Healthcare. However, she was eventually transported to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where she succumbed to her injuries that evening. The other drivers were not considered to have any life-threatening injuries. No additional details are available at this moment, as the crash is still under investigation. Fact investigator Frank Harrington is imploring anyone with details on the crash to contact him immediately.
Dave & Buster's is coming to Clarksville later this year. Clarksville Now says Dave & Buster's will take up about 34,000 square feet in the Governor Square Mall. It will be next to Burlington Coat Factory and Home Goods. Joe Bell with Cafaro, the mall's owner, says this new addition will, quote, transform the front of the mall, end quote.
A year-long undercover federal investigation has led to the arrest of a Montgomery County man. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Paul Peay is accused of threatening to attack federal agents because he believed the country was being invaded by migrants. Peay, who's from Cunningham, was charged with selling an unregistered firearm suppressor to an undercover agent. Federal officials say Peay had an arsenal of firearms and explosives he was planning to use at the border. Peay faces a maximum of 10 years if convicted and appeared before a federal court on Monday for a detention hearing. The FBI and ATF are teaming up on the investigation. Stick with us after this commercial break to find out what's happening in the political corner.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
You want change. You want a community that supports you. You want the knowledge it takes to make a difference in this world. It's time to be more. It's time to be better. It's time to grow. The world you want to see starts with you. The life you want begins at Austin Peay State University. Learn more at apsu.edu.
Hey everyone, I'm Jazmin Logan and welcome back to the Political Corner. The Israeli forces led an operation into the main hospital in Gaza to retrieve the remains of hostages taken by Hamas. It appears that the risk of a larger conflict is brewing. Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah are continuing to ramp up attacks. Israel and Hezbollah, an ally of Hamas, have participated in one of the deadliest exchanges since the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war. Since Wednesday, they've been leading attacks on each other daily. Sheikh Nabil Kawuk, a senior member of the group in Hezbollah, says they are prepared to meet, quote, escalation with escalation, displacement with displacement, and destruction with destruction, end quote. Additionally, ceasefire negotiations seem to be at a standstill as the Israeli Prime Minister promises to continue the attacks until Hamas is eliminated and all of the hostages are returned. Russia's nuclear technology could be moving beyond Earth into space. The White House responding Thursday to growing national security concerns. Jen Sullivan breaks down the threat and has reaction.
Russia's pursuit to possibly launch nuclear technology in space is raising serious national security questions. But the White House is trying to soothe concerns about the real danger it presents to the United States. National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby seeking to quell those concerns.
There is no immediate threat to anyone's safety. We are not talking about a weapon that can be used to attack human beings or cause physical destruction here on Earth.
The White House response coming a day after the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Turner, fueled fears by announcing a cryptic, quote, serious national security threat. Some Republicans wondering if Turner's vague statement Wednesday was released as part of a political stunt as Congress debates sending more aid to Ukraine. something House Intelligence Chairman Turner supports.
I worry that the motivation to draw so much attention to this is less about intelligence and national security and more about a politician who wants to send $60 billion to Ukraine.
Even though it's unclear how far Russian technology has progressed, the details are still raising concerns about Russia's overall threat to national security.
What the chairman was trying to do, perhaps, was to try to send a wake-up call to both the speaker and his Republican colleagues that Russia still remains very much a threat to the United States.
Russian President Vladimir Putin dismissing the claims. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
The annual Munich Security Conference is typically a time of celebration for the global order following World War II. This year, however, the primary focus will be American politics in the wake of former President Trump's threats to not defend allies if they're attacked by Russia. Opting not to come to the defense of allies directly contradicts a treaty with NATO. The Biden administration says they strongly support NATO, but NATO officials and other allies are still worried. There are also concerns surrounding Ukraine's aid and America's support of Israel in the war with Gaza that could pull focus from the intended purpose of the event. Democrats are celebrating a big win with a special election to replace Republican George Santos, who was expelled from the Congress over ethics violations. The victory creates an even tighter GOP margin in the House and could prove critical in upcoming bill battles. CNN Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook reports from the White House with a look at how the special election results impact the bigger picture in Washington.
The results of this special election narrow the GOP's already thin House majority, but also provide lessons for both parties as they look ahead to the general election. Suburban voters, like those in New York's 3rd Congressional District, will play a big role in both the presidential race and the race for control of the House.
Democrat Tom Suozzi wins a high-stakes special election on Long Island, beating out the Republican candidate Mazi Pilip. Suozzi, who has previously served in Congress, pitched himself as a moderate Democrat and centered his campaign on the economy and immigration.
They want us to come together and solve problems. So now we have to carry the message of this campaign to the United States Congress and across our entire country.
His win flips the seat previously held by disgraced Republican Congressman George Santos from red to blue. While Suozzi's victory does not change the control of the House, it does further shrink the House GOP's narrow majority. In his victory speech, Suozzi said he thinks the win sends a message.
To our friends running the Congress these days, stop running around for Trump and start running the country.
The Biden campaign celebrated in a statement, saying, quote, "When Republicans run on Trump's extreme agenda, even in a Republican-held seat, voters reject them." But speaking to the president's low approval rating right now, Suozzi kept his distance from Biden during the race.
If he ends up being the Democratic candidate, I'm likely to support him, yes.
The president and the first lady called Suozzi to congratulate him on the win Tuesday night.
Suozzi's victory will have an immediate impact on Capitol Hill, where House Republicans made the historic decision to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas this week. The vote to impeach Mayorkas passed by just one vote. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Despite Donald Trump's demands for a delay, the first of his 4 criminal trials is moving forward as scheduled. The jury selection will take place on March 25th. This particular case regards Trump allegedly using bribes to conceal information about extramarital affairs during his presidential campaign in 2016. The other prosecution trial regarding the insurrection has yet to move forward while it awaits the outcome of Trump's U.S. Supreme Court appeal. The classified documents trial is currently still scheduled for May 20th. Trump is also waiting on decision in the New York civil fraud case, where he is accused of exaggerating his wealth to deceive banks and insurers. Trump's legal team argues that no crimes have been committed. Special counsel Robert Hur concluded that President Joe Biden did not need to face criminal charges for mishandling classified documents. However, Hur's report on the issue has undermined Biden's memory and brought up more concerns about his age. Both Biden's allies and opposition are requesting that the full interview transcript be released to the public, since this could potentially affect the election. There is a precedent for documents regarding investigations in the White House to be released to the public, but there is also a precedent for those documents to remain confidential under executive privilege. The White House has yet to decide if the interview will be released. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Stay tuned for the weather after this short break.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Thanks for sticking with us for the weather. I'm Michael Dangerfield. Looking at our current national temps, we have Seattle at 40, Los Angeles at 60, Denver around 30. You can come over here. We have Atlanta at 65 and New York at 40. Looking at the highs and the lows in Tennessee, we have Clarksville and Nashville at 54 and 62, Memphis all the way over here at 63, and over here, 57 for Knoxville and 65 for Chattanooga. The lows will be 48 for Memphis, Clarksville and Nashville sitting at 40 even, and Knoxville and Chattanooga both sitting at 35. Our current temperature for today, it'll be 54 with a little bit of wind and a lot of chance of rain. Tonight's temperature though, we're looking at 35 again, wind speed's about 12 miles, and then rain will also be 72, so bring a jacket in just in case. Our 5-day forecast, we're looking at the weekend, pretty low week, looking at 57 for 27 for highs and lows of Friday. Saturday and Sunday, we got 36 and 23. The Monday and Tuesday look a little bit better, but not really. Monday have a high of 58 and 37. Tuesday, 63 and 40. But that's really all I have for our local and national weather. APSU will be returning right after this for the Sports Zone.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Welcome to APSU-TV's Entertainment and Sports. My name is Dekylan Fields, and today we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl update. The Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champions once again, defeating the San Francisco 49ers 25-22. It was a close game that went into overtime, with the Chiefs scoring a touchdown on the game's final play to win it all. CNN Andy Scholes reports.
Well, the very first Super Bowl here in Las Vegas certainly did not disappoint, and Taylor Swift making it from Tokyo in plenty of time to support her boyfriend Travis Kelce in Super Bowl 58 against the 49ers. But for much of this game, Chiefs fans very nervous watching the team because they could not get anything going against that 49ers defense. The Chiefs with one of their worst offensive performances in the first half in years, but when it mattered the most, Patrick Mahomes, like he always does, just coming through in the clutch. We are truly watching a legend. Mahomes leading the Chiefs on a fourth quarter drive to tie the game at 19 to send the game to overtime. It's just the second overtime game in Super Bowl history. And in OT, down 3, Mahomes had the chance to go 75 yards to win the Super Bowl. And he made all the plays, driving the Chiefs right down the field, ending on a 3-yard touchdown pass to McCole Hardman to win Super Bowl 58, 25-22. This is the third Super Bowl title for Mahomes in 5 years. The Chiefs, the first team to go back-to-back since the Patriots did it in 2005. Mahomes, he was an underdog in this game. The 49ers were 2-point favorites, and Mahomes saying afterwards, "We are never underdogs." And the Chiefs really cementing themselves as one of the best dynasties this league has ever seen. And their head coach, Andy Reid, winning his third Super Bowl title. And he said, what is he going to do to celebrate? Just like the last 2 Super Bowls, he's going to go enjoy himself a big old cheeseburger.
Do you know how expensive a 30-second commercial costs? CNN reports commercials sold for a higher rate than last year's game, with a range of $6.5 to $7 million. Talking about expensive things. Switching over to sports, Austin Peay's men's basketball team took down Queen's University in this past Saturday, 79-76. Desi Jones led the Govs with the 27 points, shooting 50% from the field. Isaiah Haney added 21 points and said Wilt had 18. The Govs in the total shot 40% from the three-point line and 55 from the field. Last night, they took on the Central Arkansas in Arkansas and won 77-67. Desi Jones had 25 points and Jamonte Black added 21. The women's team was back in action last Saturday. They beat Jacksonville 75-69 to get them back on the winning track. Kurtira Haywood led the Govs with 15 points. 5 Lady Govs scored in the double digits, with one of those being off the bench. The Lady Govs have not given up more than 70 points to a team since January the 11th to Central Arkansas. The defense is not a problem. The women's basketball team are back in action Saturday at Lipscomb. Game time is set for 2 p.m. For Austin Peay baseball, Govs get their season started with a 3-game series with Western Illinois. That's all the time I have for sports and entertainment. We'll be back for more after the break.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving. I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Welcome back to the news. For something to fill your heart or your calendar, you may be in the mood for unique cars and coffee this weekend. You can enjoy both at the same time Saturday morning from 9 until noon. Head on over to 3862 Trenton Road for cars and coffee. It's a free event open to the public. For more information, you can visit carsandcoffee.com.
Calling all aspiring musicians, Clarksville Music and Arts Academy is holding an open house event this Saturday, the 17th. The event will be interactive and hands-on, providing musicians of all ages with the opportunity to explore the facility, meet instructors, and learn more about their music programs.
Anything is possible if you put your heart and mind to it. Take a look at this dog fight off a mountain lion.
Caught on camera the moment a mountain lion and a dog named Holly Jolly got in a backyard brawl outside a home in California. Holly, now slightly less jolly in her cone of shame. The 3-year-old giant schnauzer required surgery and stitches after surviving the attack, but will recover. Holly's owners say they were at home when they heard the pup yelp for help. They sprang up, sprinting to the scene to try and stop the skirmish.
And that's when I was banging on the window and I was trying to be very loud and big. That way I could scare the mountain lion away.
All that screaming and shouting allowing Holly a split second to get free. The family posting the shocking video online as a warning to neighbors. At the end of the day, they're just glad Holly escaped the encounter.
To me, it's a miracle that she survived it.
Next, a curious case of a captain who went down with his ship. Researchers released this video, which they say is the SS Arlington sitting 650 feet below the surface of Lake Superior off the coast of northern Michigan. Explorers discovered the wreckage more than 70 years after it sank. Commanded by Captain Frederick Burke, the SS Arlington went down in 1940 while being battered during a storm. The crew abandoned the vessel and everyone made it safely to shore except the captain. He went down with the ship, reportedly waving to a nearby boat shortly before going under the water. Why the odd behavior? Researchers say that mystery will never be solved. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
But that's not all. The police were in the Valentine's Day spirit, but that isn't going to stop them from their job. Take a look at this drug bust with an impressive disguise.
The scene of a suspected drug bust in Peru could be described as grisly, but only because there was a giant bear involved. A teddy bear, actually. Police dressed an officer in the goofy costume on the eve of Valentine's Day and armed him with balloons and gifts in order to coax a female drug suspect from her home. The teddy bear tactic worked, and as the flattered female emerged, the squad moved in and made a pair of arrests and seized a reported large cache of illegal substances. Peru's national police force are fast becoming known for their oddball busts. Last year, they dressed a cop as Santa Claus in order to make a Christmas time collar. But this latest bust by the Fuzz, see what I did there? Proves the old saying, sometimes love hurts. A labor of love unfolded in a muddy California field as firefighters worked to free a cow trapped by a minor mudslide. The poor thing was stuck in the muck up to its neck, immobilized for almost a day, but after hours of digging, prodding, and prying, it was finally freed and, according to rescuers, was, no pun intended, utterly exhausted.
That's all the time we have for today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at APSU-TV Clarksville and Instagram at APSU_TV. Thank you for watching your APSU TV News Update. We'll be back next time, and as always, let's go Peay.